Hey everybody, welcome back to another one of Mudflap's movie reviews. My name is Mudflap, and today I will be reviewing the finale of the Disney Plus show, She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Let's get started. So I thought this last episode of She-Hulk was actually really good. A lot of twists and turns, a lot of surprises, a lot of characters that came back at the end of the show to make one last appearance to dazzle the audience to just close out this show. The beginning of this episode was pretty interesting. They started the show off just in the same style as the Incredible Hulk show from the 1970s, and that's how they began the show. And then this is the episode where Jennifer Walters is finally trying to unmask intelligentsia and get herself out of legal problems. A couple things that happen in this episode that I want some answers to. I won't go into details because they would be spoilers, and I don't want to spoil it for any of you who haven't seen it yet. But for those who have seen it, you probably know what I'm talking about. A couple interesting things happen at the end of this episode that we need to know more. But I gotta say, they definitely stepped up the creativity in this episode to a whole nother level. And I know this show wasn't the most popular. It still isn't the greatest Marvel show made. But I will say it's funny, it's creative. Tatiana Maslany absolutely nailed this role. She was made to play Jennifer Walters. So if nothing else out of the show, I have to applaud Tatiana Maslany's portrayal of She-Hulk. And I just really love seeing Charlie Cox return as Daredevil for just a little bit. And we also had Wong show up for a couple episodes. So seeing him interact with She-Hulk was always just really funny to see. But I know this show got a lot of hate. It got too much hate in my opinion. But I just was really just happy with how this show wrapped up. I'm not sure if there's going to be a second season. I don't think there's a need to, but it'd be kind of cool to see She-Hulk in the future show up in a movie or maybe a short cameo somewhere. Definitely looking forward to seeing more of She-Hulk in the future. Favorite moments in this episode, like I said, I really liked the opening of this episode. It was really creative, but my favorite moment for sure was when she breaks the fourth wall, which she's done throughout the entire show, but she breaks the fourth wall in a way I have never seen before. Like, it was just absolutely crazy how she went about doing this, and we got to see a very interesting cameo appearance in a very interesting form. They really just went all out with creativity in this one. Wasn't a whole lot of action in this. I was a little disappointed of how there wasn't tons of action. The most action that I've seen was in episode 8. And favorite episode, I gotta say episode 8 was probably my favorite episode, mainly because Daredevil showed up, kicked butt. But Daredevil also had some really funny comedic moments, just really chill. Like, they didn't really do anything different to his character. Seeing as Disney now has control of Daredevil and he doesn't have his Netflix show anymore, my fear was they were gonna butcher Daredevil and make him not as dark, but he was definitely still there. He definitely still had it. He and She-Hulk hooking up was unexpected, to say the least, but I thought that was a really great addition to that episode. But mainly just seeing Daredevil in action in that episode just made it my favorite episode. Because honestly, I was waiting for Daredevil to show up this entire show. Sadly, that he only showed up for just a little bit in episode 8 and then a little bit in episode 9. But they could have utilized him more. They could have utilized a lot of the characters a lot more. But that goes into my thoughts on where this show for me would rank. For me, it's the second to last. Miss Marvel for me is the very bottom of the list. She-Hulk is just above it. Mainly my main problems with it was funny, but I felt it was pretty forced at times, and they didn't utilize some characters as much as I wanted them to. But I in no way hated the show like toxic fandoms out there did, which I don't know what their problem is. I didn't hate the show. I mean, I didn't ask for the show. A lot of people's complaint about the show was it was more of the quantity over quality. People want the show to fail from the start because of how bad the CGI looked, but they fixed that all up. And, you know, they incorporated a whole bunch of stuff. It wasn't the strongest show by far, but it was fun. I laughed a lot. There are definitely funny moments for me. There are definitely enjoyable parts of this show for me. So I just really enjoyed it. So for this final episode of She-Hulk, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 Mudflaps. And before you go, drop in the comments below, what was your favorite episode of She-Hulk? And as always, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and I'll see you next time.